Hello you guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Liz. I am a 26-year-old cash budgeter and stuffer whose main goal is to reduce debt and increase wealth. So if that is something that interests you, then please keep on watching. Okay, you guys, so today we are stuffing for October week 5, and I am stuffing $450 today. So let's count and make sure that it is all here. So we have 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 370, 380, 390, 400, 410, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So 450. It is in fact all here. So this week is going to go a little bit different because I'm not stuffing any of my bills this week. Reason being, everything is fully funded. I am good to go on my bills this week. However, there are some things that need to be stuffed in order for certain things to get paid off or to kind of get ahead on, so on and so forth. And I'm introducing a new envelope today. Now, the name of the envelope is not correct, but it is a new envelope, and I'll kind of get into that when we get there. But let's go ahead and get started with my wallet. So I do have some things to empty out in here. And this $5 here is from Ringo's, oh my gosh, his grooming. I didn't use it. So I'm going to put this back in his envelope. So I'm just going to set that to the side. And then we have 10, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. All of this is going into here. And let me see. Okay, so we'll have a good amount to stuff in my savings for the next video, which that's exciting. I didn't really eat out at all, mostly just ate groceries this week, so we definitely got ahead on that. So that is awesome. And then I'll unstuff my coins. Now I'm stuffing my wallet normally because it's just, you know, it's not considered like a bill to me. And I do really need to go to the grocery and everything else because I have eaten all of the groceries and meal prepped everything, or eaten all of my meal prep from this past week. So we definitely need to start fresh. So as per normal, $50 for groceries, $30 for eating out. Now, I got a question in my comment section, and I completely forgot about the fact that I have a lot of new subscribers here that don't kind of understand or know my situation. So one of the comments was, okay, well, what about your food? Well, the $50 goes to groceries each week, and then the $30 goes to eating out. I am single. I do not have any kids, and I'm not married. So, and I don't really eat that much. So the $50 works for me each week. I try to shop at Aldi to keep costs low. And I'm very specific with what I buy. So that keeps groceries pretty cheap for me. Now, obviously, it's not that way for everybody. Groceries are extremely expensive, especially for families with children that are growing and they need to eat a lot and all of this other stuff. I do not have that problem right now in my current life. Problem. I shouldn't say that. Children are not problems, but I don't have the like stress of a high grocery bill each week or each month because of feeding a family. I feed myself, and then as well as my parents live very, very close to me. So sometimes I'll go, if my mom cooks, like I'll go and eat with her sometimes, and my dad, so that we can, you know, continue to grow as a family, but also I get to save money one night on dinner. So that's kind of the food situation. The second question was about rent. So my situation is very, very, very privileged, and I cannot stress that enough. And I thank God every single day that I am in the position that I'm in. My grandmother and my grandfather, when I was young, moved down to where my parents live so that they could be closer to me and my parents. And they bought a house. So when they bought this house, my grandmother, being the G that she is and the amazingly financially stable, intelligent, just all of the above person that she was, they managed to fully pay off their house. So they never had a mortgage. And because of that, she lived in this house for majority of my life. And then about a year or two before I graduated college, she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia, and she could no longer take care of herself by herself. So my parents moved her in with them. And this house that I am in was uninhabited for 2 years. And rather than selling the house, when I graduated college, my parents gave me the option to move into the house and only have to pay utilities without rent. So I do not have rent because my grandmother and my grandfather were extremely financially smart and were able to buy something within their means and not have a mortgage. So when it comes to that sort of thing, nobody that I know personally, or even people that are older than me or I don't know personally, none of them have the same situation that I have. I am like extremely lucky, and it honestly can make me cry because I do have friends that like they struggle with paying rent every month, and I feel for them. And part of the reason that I haven't moved or don't want to move right now is because of that fact of I know how much rent is in other places. I know how much my friends are having to spend. I know how much they aren't able to put towards savings. I know the struggle of hearing the struggle of even just putting gas in your car. So I do not want to give up what I have right now so that I can move closer to my friends. None of my friends live near me. So when I say, oh, I'm traveling to go here and go there to see my friends, that's because none of them live near me. But in order to move closer to my friends, I would have to add the expense of rent onto everything else that I already pay for. And I would have to get a new job, and hopefully the job would pay, and it's a whole thing. So I am where I'm at, and I don't have rent. Now, not having rent has saved me, honestly, especially if you are a long-term follower of mine. Back when I was a waitress, and after that when I got another job thinking that it was going to pay and it didn't, you guys remember the struggle. And I cried a lot because I was struggling and I didn't have a rent expense. I didn't have a car tag, or not a car tag, but I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have, I don't have to pay for gas because my entire family is on a credit card that my dad pays off every month, so that he can get rewards at the end of the year. So our family is very different from a lot of people's situations, and by no means do I take what I have for granted. So I hope that, my situation does not prevent people from still wanting to follow my journey, because I still have things that I got to save up for and pay for and everything else. And as a single woman, there are just things in my life that will be different from people who are married and do have kids and do have a mortgage or do have rent or do have car payments and all of the above. So with all of that being said, let's go over my bills. So, yeah, I'm not actually stuffing any of my bills this week, but I am putting more money towards extra debt. So my bills do include water. I do pay my electricity. This is a personal loan I had to take out. That is fully funded now and will be paid off this week, which is, I could cry. I'm so excited about that. Apple is like subscription-based things, Amazon subscription kind of based things. AT&T is my Wi-Fi and internet and all of that. My phone bill, I pay my mom back. She has the whole family on coverage, so I pay her for my phone personally. Because I live in a house in a neighborhood, we have an HOA, so I do have HOA fees that I have to pay quarterly, and then my credit card. And this is the next big debt that we are working on paying off. So $50 is coming into extra debt. So we now have 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, and 450 in extra debt. And I do actually need to stuff HOA as well. And that is getting its usual $10. So it now has 50, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and 130. And it needs 150 quarterly. I am fully paid up for the year. So this next payment will go for the first quarter of the year. So that's exciting. Okay. So that is going to be it for my bills binder. And we do have two things to stuff in my short term. The first one is clothes. So I need to pay myself back for Halloween, my Halloween costumes. As well as I need to save up for the outfits / dress that I will be wearing in December for the Mardi Gras ball that I will be going to. So I kind of stuffed a little bit more in here. But we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, and 210. Well, that's not accurate. What did I do? I just did I just grab a 50? Let me see how much I'm supposed to have. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay. So I only grabbed a 50. So we need 75. So now we have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 220, 30, 35. So 235 now in clothes, which I only needed 200 to fully pay off my my Halloween costumes. Nothing else is getting stuffed except for Ringo, and he is getting a 5. As well as we're putting this 5 back into his envelope. Perfect. So that he now has $10 in his envelope. That's going to be it for that. All right, let's get into the big, bad, and the ugly. Okay. Which is my long-term savings. So first up is car maintenance. Now, normally I only put about $10 into car maintenance. This time I'm having to put in $20. Why? Because I had to buy a new battery for my car. Okay, so 100 is in the bank. We have 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So it was around $215 in total. So I will be able to fully pay myself back for this here in the next 2-ish weeks, week and a half, something like that. So that'll be good. So car maintenance. Christmas is going to be getting stuffed as per normal. And that's $10. So 1, 2, 300 in the bank. 50, 70, 80, 90, 400, 410, 20, 30. So 430 now in Christmas. Emergency is getting stuffed per usual, which is a 20. So it now has 500 in the bank, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 620, 640, 660. So 660 in emergency. Should love that. All right, next up is my Mardi Gras fund. And as you guys know, I am having to pay for a hotel room for the Mardi Gras ball. So we are stuffing $70 in here. So we have 50, 100, 120, 140 now in my Mardi Gras fund. All right. So the next one says household. This is a new envelope that was in my short term. I just needed an empty envelope to move into long term. Hopefully by the beginning of the year, all of these envelopes will be updated, new, so on and so forth. But this envelope is going to be for property taxes. Now, getting into the whole house situation. The house is not under my name. It is still under my dad's name because when my grandmother passed away in the will, the house was transferred to my dad. So the property taxes are still in his name. Also, my parents' house is in their name. And the property taxes last year were around like $2,000 for my house. And my dad is a teacher. So paying property taxes on 2 houses is extremely difficult, especially when one of the houses is not pulling in any revenue or anything like that, aka me. I'm not paying rent, so I'm not having to pay my parents anything to live here. So instead of my dad paying property taxes this year, he has asked me to pay the property taxes this year. Now they are due in April. He gave me an estimate of $1,500. So we are now going to be saving up $1,500 by April, and in order to do that, we're having to buckle down. So we are starting by putting in $70. And I have done the math. I have looked at everything and really broken it all down. So yes, we are paying the property taxes, and I will be able to do it. It's just gonna be tight for a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so $70 into property taxes. Next up is pet emergency. That is Ringo's. He's getting a 10. So he now has 50, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120 in pet emergency, which love that for him. Medical is getting 5. So he now has 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25 in medical. All right, and I have a 5 left over. I'm not sure where that was supposed to go to. So give me just a moment. Okay, guys, I figured it out. So because I'm a yapper and I couldn't figure out what the heck I was doing, I put an extra 20 in clothes. So actually in clothes, we have 50, 100, 120, 140, 50, 100, 120, 40, 60, 80, 200, 210, 215. So I have 215 in clothes, not 235. So 215 is in clothes. And that means that $25 is going into vacation. So we put 20 in here and 25. So we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 105, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 125 now in vacation. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. This was our magic month with October. So the 5th week, a lot of it just went to savings mostly. So we have, we didn't really stuff any bills today. Either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below anything else you would like to see from me. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another video from me. And with all of that being said, guys, make sure that you work hard so you can play harder. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.